I'm Dr. Kavitha Chinnaiyan, and I'm an integrative cardiologist, a wife, a mother, and a yogini. My spiritual practice began in childhood. I've had several mystical experiences and looked for answers in religion and outside of religion, and very unsatisfied with every answer that I got, led me to a path of constant seeking. And I was always seeking for something more, and that turned out to be more achievements, more success in my career, thinking that something was missing in my life. 10 years ago, I found my spiritual path in a very unconventional way, unsatisfied with everything that I had achieved thus far in life, and despite being blessed with all the conventional successes and happiness that one could think of, I was still unhappy and still seeking. It occurred to me that day that what I was seeking was the end of seeking, and that was the beginning of my spiritual path. My spiritual practice has transformed me immediately as well as gradually over time. Immediately there was a change in a sense of peace and calm and the way I was dealing with my workload and with the world. And gradually over time, this has led to a much deeper transformation of a foundation of inner peace that has transformed life and relationships. In my Heal Your Heart, Free Your Soul program, I've had participants over the last 5 years relate similar experiences of immediate and gradual transformation. Not only do they feel better in terms of symptoms and in terms of gaining a sense of peace, and also many of them coming off medications and having improved blood pressure and all kinds of numbers, but also it has changed the way they relate to the world and to themselves. From my own practice and from teaching others, I have come to realize that the widespread suffering that is in the world is largely unnecessary, and it can be alleviated by simply turning our attention to the richness of our being and for discovering the beauty that has always been here. And once we discover that, suffering is optional. Our collective state of humanity is that we are always chasing after something, be it wealth or love or relationships or some kind of thing that we think is going to complete us. When we realize that we have always been complete, we realize that we have always been home. And when we come to this point, then we realize that suffering has always been optional, even through the direst of circumstances, even through the diseases and the health problems that we are given. Suffering is not a given in any of those situations. The Heal Your Heart, Free Your Soul program is actually a paradigm shift. While the conventional way of thinking is that we are the body or the mind, the paradigm with which we begin the Heal Your Heart, Free Your Soul program is that your true nature is and has always been bliss. With this paradigm in mind, all the practices and the changes come naturally when we align with this change in our paradigm and the way we view ourselves. As long as we remain limited as the body and the mind, our desires and fulfillment of these desires will be limited. As soon as we discover that we are unlimited bliss, then all our desires become fulfilled automatically. Lack of well-being can arise from being ill, having certain disease states, being not emotionally fulfilled, or through various life circumstances that we find challenging. But the one common thread of being unwell through all of these different and seemingly dissimilar situations is the belief that we are limited as our body minds. In any challenging situation, whether it is our health that concerns us, or a relationship, or a life circumstance, we suffer when we believe that things should be different. It's only when we become aligned with what is that we realize that we are always complete, and suffering then drops away. But in order to realize what is, we have to first understand who we are. And as soon as we realize that we are not the body-mind, we become aligned with what is. Anybody that feels a dissatisfaction in life, be it because of their health or emotional deprivement or relationships or life circumstances, can benefit from my program. Ayurveda is an ancient medical science that originated in India thousands of years ago. And it is based on the principle that everything in creation is held by common principles. And these common principles actually permeate the body, the mind, and the spirit. So when we talk about wellness from an Ayurvedic perspective, it necessarily means wellness of being in the body, in the mind, as well as in the community, relationships, and every aspect of life and creation. So Ayurveda is really a science that helps us live in perfect harmony with all of creation. Western medicine is based on a paradigm that there is a cause of a disease and then there is an effect of a disease, and both of these are based in the body. Recent research, especially over the last decade or so, has revealed and is slowly revealing the role of the mind and other factors in disease. However, most of the paradigm in Western medicine is based on the body. In Ayurveda, on the other hand, the paradigm extends to not just the body, but the mind, the spirit, the environment, and how we are all interconnected in all of the universe. So wellness from an Ayurvedic perspective means a very different thing than wellness in the Western perspective. In the Heal Your Heart program, we take the best of what Western medicine has to offer and blend it with the ancient wisdom of Ayurveda to take us to a whole new level of wellness and well-being.